Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. My name is Sarthin and this will be part two in what I think may be a long series of content that I will be creating in the coming weeks and months for an emulated EverQuest server called EZServer that I play on. If you want to check out the server, if you don't know too much about it, you can check it out at EZServer.online. And we also have a wiki where we have gathered all the information you may need if you want to get going and try and start playing on the server, see what it has to offer, and see if you like it. We also got a Discord channel here where you can, get in touch with the players and, get to know the players and the game, the server. So yeah, just a brief intro there for those of you who, may have stumbled across this video interested in playing on an emulated EverQuest server and may want to give our server a go. Over to today's topic, which will be audio triggers. Audio triggers are something that you don't necessarily need to have when you're playing on any emulated EverQuest server, but I really like it. It just adds some extra spice to the to the game experience for me, and I just wanted to let you guys know how I set this up. It's quite easy to do, and I was hoping to give you guys an example of how it works, and in doing so, I will also be touching in on some of my other classes' abilities, like my Cleric's Divine Aura that I use for various things in game, and I'm pretty sure it'll be useful for you, especially if you are a new player. You might want to keep some of these abilities in mind when you play on the server, because they can make a huge difference on how you manage stuff here. So let's start by finding the audio triggers window. If you haven't made a hotkey for it, you can click on the EQ button down here, go to actions, and here you have audio triggers. So you can see I have a list here already. Some of the older ones I have deleted because I don't use them anymore. But this one I don't really need either. But anyway, basically what the audio triggers does is, whenever you create an audio trigger, you will have to type in some text up here. And whenever that text appears in one of your chat windows, it'll trigger the audio sound that, that you've set it up to trigger. And a lot of a lot of the events, boss spawns, triggered spawns, stuff that's happening on our server, the bosses. Let's take Sleeper's Tomb, for example, and when Kerfirm spawns, he will shout. He will shout. I don't even remember what he shouts, but it's some taunting words, So whenever you farm Sleeper's Tomb and you trigger his spawn, and he does his shout, it will trigger this. So I don't even know why it has sharp claw. That's the wrong sound anyway. But the point is, whenever the bosses emotes, it'll trigger a sound saying that Kerfirm has spawned or something. You have a few default sounds like this one. I think you have a few, like 4 or 5 different alerts that you can choose from, and then you can make your own audio triggers. This is what I think is a bit fun though, and what I've done, and I'll also show you how to do that. Basically, whatever you type in here, when it matches in the windows, it'll trigger the sound. For instance, we can take this one. This is pretty quick to show as an example. This one will look for the words tells you. I've had a custom wave file called incoming tell. So when this, I usually don't have this activated, but it can be quite useful if you're kind of like AFK and just idling in Access or something, and you know, someone calls up for a trade or whatever, and you know, you can, if you have the sound on, you can, you know, or if you're at another, if you're busy on another, you know, one of your other clients, you will still get the audio trigger letting you know that, you know, your main character has someone who wants to talk to you, so you know, switch windows or something. So yeah, so it works like this. If I send a tell to Sarthin, I'll get a trigger saying that okay, somebody wants to talk to you.
You have received a tell.
Okay, so it'll emote you have received a tell. So that's kind of how it works, really. It's quite easy to set up these audio triggers, and you know, it can be quite useful. The way I well, you start over here by if you want to make a new one. Let's just do that first. Let's see here. I have well, we can use the one of the audio triggers that I've already made here, like maybe let me see here. This one. You are no longer watched. As you may know already, some of these buffs leave a message when they wear off. So this is my divine intervention. So when this wears off, it'll say you are no longer watched. And because I've typed that in here, it'll play a sound. I just called it divine. It's something that I made, some text to speech. I'll show you in a bit how I do that. So basically, what it does is when you know, when I lose this buff, it'll trigger.
You have lost your divine intervention.
Okay, so there you have it. It'll tell me that okay, you have lost your important buff, so you know, buff up again, right? So it can be quite useful. And one other thing that's really nice about this is you don't need to have in-game sound on for these to work. You know, I can turn off all the sound on to 0% here, and you know, they will still play.
You have lost your divine intervention.
So I know a lot of people don't like to play with a lot of music or sound on. I usually have like the sound at 5% just so I can hear a few things. Like if I lose a mitigation buff, you can actually sometimes hear that the mobs are hitting you harder. It's another, you know, smash sound. So it can be useful in some instances to have a to have the sound on a little bit. But yeah, how do you make these? First off, I'll show you the folder where they're situated at. So in your EverQuest folder, in the audio triggers folder, and then into default. That's where all the audio trigger sound files are. So these are WAV files. So you may have to, you know, what I normally just use like this free text-to-speech things like these, ttsmp3.com. You can use that one. It's pretty straightforward. So, you know, if you have a, you know, if you have a buff that says symbols faded, you can make an audio trigger for that. You can choose however the sound's going to be.
Symbols faded.
So there you have it, and then you download it as MP3. Once you've downloaded it, the audio trigger, you may want to convert it to WAV file. I use Cloud Convert for that, and I just select the file. And I select my MP3 file. These are WAV files already. Just select my MP3 file here, and then, you know, just convert it to WAV and you know, put it into this folder. And you know, you have to do the, if you have already started your client, you have to, you know, after you've put in your new audio trigger here, you have to restart the client before the new WAV file will, you know, will show up in the window here. So so keep that in mind when you're making these. And then I'll yeah, I think that's about it. It's quite straightforward to make these, and I can show you real quick how they will work in game. Let me just pause here for a second, buff up, and then we'll see if we can get some audio triggers going. And at the same time, as I said initially, I can show you how to make use of like divine aura of my clerics when I'm doing pulls. So just a second, just need to pause and get ready. Alright, so I'm fully buffed now, and I'll make a pull using my cleric's divine aura to keep me invulnerable while I pull. And this ability that the clerics have, you can also find it in the bards also have it. Called it's a song called Kazumi's Note of Preservation. So if you have a bard, you can use it of those as well. And there are so many different instances on this server where the divine aura can be useful, either for pulling or for, you know, some of the bosses, they actually death touch when you engage them, and you know, this can come in hand in so many different situations. So it's nice to know about this, and you know, to use it whenever you know, see a situation where you can benefit from doing it. So let's get a pull going here then. If you run a mage, or if you have the you know, group or the raid Call of Hero items, you can make these pulls more slick if you you know, set up a hotkey like I've done here. Like I'm telling my off tank here to summon me back, and I may use that. I can actually use it now just to show you guys how I do that. So first off, I'll throw on my divine aura of my cleric here. So I'm gonna cast that. And so you have just about 20 seconds in vulnerability. So I'll start pulling some mobs here. I'm currently in Veeshan's Peak, and by killing these mobs here, I have a chance to trigger a boss spawn. So hopefully we'll see the audio trigger kicking in as well. And now I can push this if I want to, and then I don't have to run all the way back. So if you know, if you get a bit greedy with your pulls, this has actually saved my life a few times, because you know, while running back to to my group, I've sometimes died when I didn't have the summon going. I'll go on here as well instead. Accidentally pushed my my own summon there. I was not intending to do that. If you make these large pulls, if you're already here and you make these larger pulls, make sure you don't kill any necromancers to begin with, because they can they can wipe you off pretty quick with their debuff. So yeah, keep that in mind. I just activated an item that makes me repost some of the attacks.
Ralpher has spawned.
Okay, so then we have the audio trigger going. So it also says up here in my MQ2 HUD that Ralpher spawned as a boss. It's a named boss that I'm definitely going to kill. And we also heard the audio trigger going over here some, because when Ralpher spawns, he'll sell you no idea what you have no idea the fates you tempt. So by saying that, it triggered the audio file that I made. So yeah, just some extra spice, you know. It's yeah. So I like to have it, and I mean, it's nothing that you definitely don't, nothing that you need to, you know, keep playing on the server. And but I like it, and I think I think a lot of people don't know that you can actually have the audio triggers on even if you have your in-game sound turned off. So yeah, they can be useful for many situations, and you know, yeah, I just think it's kind of cool. So and also we got to see a bit how you can make use of your divine aura of your clerics or bards to make some large pulls without dying. So there you have that. And for those of you who are actually playing on this server and, you know, may already be in Veeshan's Peak, here's a neat trick. If you have a character with a summon clicky or a mage, like I have a mage here, what I've done with my mage is I have bound myself close to where the boss that I just triggered spawns. So you may do that. So here I am. The boss that I triggered will spawn right down here, but you know, since I'm in a public zone now, I will, you know, enter the zone that I'm currently in, and that is Connon's guild instance. So I'll make sure my mage, as you can see here now, my mage will zone into the same instance as the rest of my team. She'll still be up here, and the boss is here. So I will use this button to target my tank and summon him, like I'm doing now. So there we have him, and then moving back to my tank, I'll summon the rest of my team up here, and we'll kill the boss and just see what he drops. So, and that will conclude this video for now. I will show you one more thing, because last video I covered some of the hotkeys, and I'll show you a very useful macro right now. If I can get some of my tunes to die, I'll show you a useful macro for cleaning up after yourself. If a lot of your characters die, I'll show you how that works as well. Let's just kill him off first. And killing a raw first vendetta also has a chance to spawn a rare spawn here. So okay, let me just see if he has anything useful first, and then I'll make some corpses here, and we can check out the macro that I was thinking of. You know, I can get a few more mobs in here. Let's get a few more mobs in here. Make a few corpses. I can do this. Broadcast a command for everyone to sit. Okay. Then we'll die a bit faster that way. All right. So we have a few corpses here now. All right. I don't want to make myself a corpse. Okay, maybe we should just go about and kill these now. So basically, when I rest these characters in, I want them all to loot their corpses, and so quick way to do that is to use a macro. Here is a macro that I have for that purpose, and it basically tells the characters to target the corpse, summon them, and loot it, so you get rid of them. You know, it's quite annoying to have all these corpses lying around when you want to loot the corpses of the mobs you kill. Some of these corpses may get in the way, and you know, so it's just you know, quality feature for playing. But you know, don't die. Don't die. Okay, let's get this one down, and we'll just go all out here. So while doing that, I can show you another neat thing. This is a rest clicky, but various armor earlier on on the server has an effect to res. Usually the gloves, I think it is, or the bracers. What I do here is when you rest people in, you may want to make a hotkey like this as well. So I can just show you how mine works. It tells all my characters to notify the confirmation dialog box, which is the dialog box that you get when in the rest window, like this one here. And it notifies this dialog box on the yes button to click. So that's what's happening here. So when I push this button, all my characters will accept the rest and they will come back to me. And then we'll see about the macro that I talked about while looting the corpses. Okay, so basically pushing this, it'll send a message to all my other characters to run this macro. And we can see now how that works. Okay, so they will summon their corpse and loot it. And there you have it. Looks like my mage is stuck in a death loop here. That's unfortunate. I'll have to move down here then. Oh, come on. This was not supposed to be part of the video. But you know, if this happens, just run them over here. Die. And then, you know, you gotta clean up after yourself. So basically, while they are up there busy in that corner, you run to this corner. I think. Actually, you can move a bit further down. Okay, so they'll run off. And you can get back to where you were. I think it was canon. Alright, so anyway, you know, that last part was not supposed to be in the video, but you know, content is content. I'll just show this one real quick again. If you want to make use of it, you can, you know, pause the video and type this down in a macro to make sure you loot all your corpses. Just make a hotkey like this one, and it'll run the macro. So yeah, that's it for now. Covering some audio triggers, how they work.
Ralpher has spawned.
Like they will
Veneral
play.
Sather has spawned.
The real Abixgos has spawned.
Yeah, so you have a few different ways of doing this. So yeah, now you know at least, and if you want to make it a go, now you know how to do it. And also make sure you make good use of your Divine Aura, of your Clerics or Bards. There are so many different uses for them to make them useful when playing on the server. And also some hot tips for the players that are already in Veeshan's Peak on how to, you know, bind and you know, get more efficient, really. So I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for another video in the near future. Have a good day.